For this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble the train. So we're going to click on Assembly. It kind of looks like a L shape with a blue block on top and two yellow ones. So we're going to click on that. You're not going to have the error on yours. That's just because I have two different versions of Autodesk installed at the same time. So what we need to do first is go over here. We're not going to click on the icon. We're going to click on the words because we need to change which icon we have. We want place. So place is the blue square with the blue arrow. Again, that is the blue square or cube and the blue arrow. So we're going to click on place. Then you're going to find where you have your files. I have mine right here. So you can bring in your pieces. So I'm just going to bring in the train body first. So I'm going to open, I'm going to place it in. Alright, and then I'm going to right click, OK. The reason why I do that is if I click anywhere else, I'm going to place a duplicate. So before I have anything else in here, just so I don't make a mistake somewhere, I'm going to right click on it and ground. So what that does is if we look over here at our assembly, we can see that the body or the train body or whatever you called your file for the train body should have a little tiny pin in the cube. So we're going to go place. Let's see, axle peg. We'll do that one next. I should have 4 of them. I'm kind of placing them where they're roughly going to go just to make life a little bit easier when we're assembling. Okay, so right click, OK. I'm going to go to place, bring in the next piece, cow catcher. Only need 1 of those. So place, let's see, hitch magnet is my next one. Alright, I only need 1. Oh, okay. So you don't have to actually right click in there, okay. You can just click on place again. That's a neat update. Click open. We only need 1 of the hitch peg. Make sure it looks like this. If it's the really tiny one, that's the linkage peg. So linkage arm. I need 2 of those. Let's see, what's my next piece? Oh, there's the linkage peg I was talking about. See how tiny it is in comparison? So putting 2 over here, 2 over here. Alright, let's see, stack. It's gonna go right here, but it doesn't look like it right now. And wheel. Placing in 4 of those. Right click OK. Let's see, do we have all the pieces? There should be 9 different pieces. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, looks like I got everything. Alright, so what we're going to do is click on Constraint. And we have a few different options for this. This one right here is Insert. That is the one that we're going to be using for like 99% of what we're doing today. So what I'm going to be doing is, first thing, I'm going to connect our stack. So I'm going to click on this bottom edge. And then I'm going to click on this bottom edge. Okay, so mine turned out to be the correct way around, but sometimes it's not, and it does this. And all you got to do is swap which way this is going, and then you can fix it. Click apply. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is connect the hitch peg and the hitch magnet together. And then I'm going to put all of it. Remember, you can use this little cube in the top left-hand corner, or sorry, top right-hand corner to flip around your object so you can kind of get to see it from better angles. So I'm going to get on that edge and then right here. Apply. So I'm going to look from the top. See how this is lined up nicely? There's no giant gap or anything. If there is a gap and you made a mistake, you could just undo it. So how you would undo something, what I like to do, because there's multiple of the same parts, is I click on it first, it highlights blue, and then over here underneath model, it highlights also. So you can right click, or sorry, left click the arrow, and then you can see the inserts. So from this view, it's a little hard to see which one is which. Oh, here we go. If we just get the blue off of it, you can see which one's which. So if we had to make a mistake there, you could just right-click, delete, and then it comes apart. So if you do make a mistake, it's very, very easy to fix. Okay, so let's put that back together. Alright, so our next thing, let's do the wheels next. So I'm going to click on this edge right here and this edge. I'm going to do the same thing to all my wheels. Okay, it's easier to click on this one from this view. Make sure you click apply between each of these. If not, it's going to kind of mess you up and it's not going to work. Okay, so let's see, are all the wheels attached? Yes, they are. Next thing I'm going to do is attach the axle peg. So on this, it's kind of hard to see what's going on because there's a lot going on, so I'm going to zoom in. That's way too far. So we have this top edge. That's not the edge I want to click on. You want to click on this one right here. Or actually, there's this tinier one in here. So if I move the view, they're actually at the exact same level. So that's why it doesn't matter which one of these two you do, just as long as it's this edge right here or this one. So all along that edge. Okay, so clicking on my edge and clicking here and apply. So I'm going to look from the top again. If I get close, you can see we have that little flat edge. If you don't have that flat edge, it means you accidentally clicked this edge and connected it with your wheel. So I'm going to do the same thing to the rest of them. Oh, wrong one. So you can see how much you kind of need to move everything around while you're doing this. Oh, and if you do zoom and lose track of where your part is, if you press home on the keyboard, it finds it for you again. I'm not the best at zooming, so I tend to lose it sometimes. Alright, so here's this one, and that one. Okay, so that's all the axle pegs. Now we're going to do the linkage arm. So I'm going to select this edge right here, and this edge. I'm going to click apply. So the way that I placed it in, it lines everything up, and it looks like it's connected right now, but it's not. So if I take this and move it, you can see it's not connected. So we still need to connect. So I'm going to now connect the back edge with the back edge. Apply. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So back edge, and you can see that it's not connected. So I'm going to show you what happens if you do the front edge on one side and the back edge on the other. You get an error. The reason for that is it's trying to line it up perfectly on the exact same plane. So if you happen to pick the front edges for the first one and the front edges for the second side, you're fine. Both work just fine. But you got to stick with either the back for both or the front for both. Either one is completely valid. So we're going to look down from the top again. So you can see right here we have this edge, and then our wheel. If you have an extra piece in there where this chunk is kind of sitting out here more, and there's a little tiny narrow bit, that little narrow bit would be this piece, and you want that to be going inside of your linkage arm. If it's not, then you just need to fix it. And so undo it and then put it back in. So another way we can do some checking is to make sure that this is moving around. So if you do this and your wheels are doing this just fine, that means your linkage arm is the correct length. If it kind of gets a little wonky, sometimes it gets a little bit wonky for this, but I can't get mine to do that. Alright, but if it goes kind of diagonal and gets stuck that way, that means your linkage arm is too long. All you got to do is go back to your part file, make it the correct size, and then that'll fix all your problems. Alright, the next part is our little linkage pegs. So again, just like for our axle peg, there's two different places you can click. You can click on this edge or this edge right here. Doesn't really matter which one. And then apply. So these kind of are like little caps, so our linkage arm doesn't fall off. Okay, so those are now all in place. So the last piece we have is this cow catcher. So if you did all the dimensions properly, it's super easy to attach, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing, we're going to click on this top circle, and then for this one, we need to go right here, right up against, for looking down, right up against this edge, and apply. So right now it looks like it's connected, and it is, but wait, I just spin it around in circles. So I'm going to show you two different ways to connect this. One is a little bit easier than the other. I'm going to show you the harder way first, and then I'm going to undo it, and then I'm going to show you the easier way in case the hard way doesn't quite work out. So I'm going to use the insert constraint. I'm going to click on this edge right here, and then I'm going to click on this edge, and then apply. So you can see how it's all lined up, and because I have both of those done, it's now locked in place. You don't need to do all three, just two of them. So if that isn't working, typically the reason is you're either not clicking on the correct parts. So you can see how this is nice and flush right there. The two pieces are touching. You might have clicked accidentally the wrong edge, or your dimensions are in the wrong spot. Something's just not quite working properly. The way that we can fix that, alright, so I'm going to delete that last insert so you can see it can still spin around. A way we can kind of fix that or get around it is by constraining this bottom edge and this bottom edge with an angle constraint. Okay, so the angle constraint is just saying that I want the two planes to be, because it's 0 degrees, at the same angle. So I'm using this first solution here, the directed angle, and then I'm going to click apply. So now when you look at the train, that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, we can kind of do like a little wiggle test to make sure everything's connected. Those kind of wiggle around how they should. This is actually kind of neat. If you look at it, it's actually spinning around. So it is connected exactly how it should be. This is just fine. Basically, it just shouldn't slide out of place. Spinning around is just fine. So our little train is now fully assembled. All right, and again, here is this back portion. This is how this should be. Some people forget this at the end, so make sure you have all the components of your train connected.